Raylos, nor nobodies, none that of any kind. We don't day drink here. And the reason why it's not healthy, and I would like to get a workout in, probably won't be getting any drinking anytime soon. And it's raining out anyway. So let's talk about this. There's been some people, bigger YouTubers than me, basically complaining that Tamara Morrison said the book of Boba Fett isn't fun. I want to ask you a question. If you're a Star Wars fan and you're deep into it like I am, were you expecting unicorns and rainbows and fields full of daffodils? Were you? Were you expecting sleigh rides to the snow as elves sing Christmas carols? Well, I mean, you were looking for fun. You weren't looking for a dark, introspective, or not, as Robert Rodriguez said, it wasn't fun. You weren't looking for a dark, retrospective, introspective look on, you might be your favorite character, but he ain't a nice guy, a bounty hunter, who in the original trilogy was a fucking asshole. There's a reason why this ship was called the Slave One. Boba Fett's a sinister character. He is not cool, not by any means. When I hear people say he's my favorite character, you don't get it. You don't get it. He's not supposed to be a favorite character. He's cool to look at, but he's a low down, dirty, rotten, cold, calculated killer. Okay? When Robert Rodriguez said that, I don't really know if the usual suspects have any clue about what he meant, and I'm pretty sure they don't. Because the bitching and moaning, we are just getting thunder now, whining and complaining is whatever. Tamara Morrison, which is very interesting, is that basically says, to paraphrase, is the first branch of the tree, and while Disney has to think about if they're gonna go ahead with more, that it's the beginning of what people want to call the Mandoverse. And what I think it is the beginning of the Favreauverse, where basically everything that sucked about whatever, whatever in the ST is retconned. I already had somebody jump in here and scream at me, the Veil of Force can't fix it. Yeah. Duh. I don't know anything about time travel. Duh. I don't know anything about the theories of it. Duh. That's called linear thinking and not being very smart. By the way, I'm just telling you that right now. And that's a black pill, by the way. And because they don't want to see it fixed. They don't. And I put it this way: the channels that were talking about this not being fun, and then this doesn't bode very well. What do you want it to be? Here's a question for y'all. I mean, you've all seen The Searchers. You've all seen Hang 'em High, The Good, the Bad, the Ugly, A Fistful of Dollars and a Few Dollars More. I ask you a question. Did you want to take your kids to it? Were they popcorn flicks? No, they weren't. This is what we're getting. Okay? This is what we're getting. Boba Fett, we're going to get some hard truths about him. So the fans, his little fanboys, are going to have to decide if they really think the guy is that cool. Now, yeah, I do too. But, again, see, man, there are people within the fan base that want everything Disney touches to burn. All right. Because, Gina got fired or let go. They hated what he did, what they did to Luke. Of course, they never mention what they did to Han. These people are fetishists of subjects of Star Wars, but they don't care about it. Okay, if they cared about it, they'd be like, this has got to be great. This is going to be great. Okay, like we are. I I can't contemplate the world without this franchise. I can't. And I can't contemplate kids growing up without the idea that Luke and Han are there as, you know, oh, I would too, but as Cameron Pasha would say, it is going to be a long time. You just don't wake up one morning, walk into the office, and say, no more SJW shit. It's just not how it works, because Disney makes the Titanic look like a tugboat, okay? It's that big. And for corporate culture to change, there are a lot of faces that have to go. And I honestly think that with the changes going on at Lucasfilm and the restructuring, that's where it's going to start. I find it fascinating that they're letting Kevin Feige go nuts on the Kevin Feige, I mean, is going nuts with the SJW shit. Okay, I find it fascinating. Meanwhile, you've got Jon Favreau reeling it all back in on the Lucasfilm side. It's almost like they tried it with this, and now they're going to try it with that. You know, and, you know, honestly, it's the reason why they let these people do that. First off, we live in a world where most of us didn't go into writing, into film, you know, into that industry. We didn't go into acting. We didn't, you know, go into teaching. You know, the smart people in the world, they get into business. Okay, they get into business. And the stupid people in the world, you know, they get into education. And, you know, I hate to say that, but when you talk to your average teacher, they're really not, you know, they're educating their kids and you're wondering, can they even read? I mean, well, here's the deal. They first off, I don't think they want it to happen, Vader fan. I really, really don't. And Robert Rodriguez, I mean, I'm sure Paulie over at Latino Slant, who I think knows him, would be in here saying, hey, that's not what he meant. You know, there are dark movies that are made. There are dark stories out there. Writing something about bounty hunters, like even my fanfic about Han Solo, that wasn't exactly, you know, sunshine and unicorn farts, was it? No, I mean, when you're writing a character to be basically on the not even on the edge of civilization, completely uncivilized. Good afternoon, John 42. And you're taking him to a place that's very dark. If you want to know the story, how brutally the Old West was, go look up the stories about Doc Holliday. All right? Yeah, I mean, everybody has this mythological idea that, you know, he was like Val Kilmer's, I'll be your Huckleberry, and shit like that. No, he wasn't. He wasn't. Most of those guys, like John Wesley Hardin, here's a story about him. He killed 40 men. Just, you know, Obi-Wan, you know. This is a story about John Wesley Hardin. He's asleep in his bed in a hotel in Dodge City, Kansas. Bat Masterson and I think Wyatt Earp were both the town marshals, or Wyatt was the deputy marshal and Bat Masterson was the town marshal. And there's a guy, and it was a clapboard hotel. So you've got little tiny boards between the rooms. Hey, Grandmaster Jim. And the guy next door was snoring like a chainsaw, okay? John Wesley Hardin couldn't sleep. He was pissed. He gets up, fires through the wall, and falls back asleep. Next morning, finds out he killed the guy. Bat Masterson's like, you need to get the hell out of here before they hang you. I mean, it was a case of cold-blooded murder. Okay. He woke up intending to shut the guy down. He killed him. It's cold-blooded murder. Okay, that's dark. That's fucking dark. These are the stories we're dealing with. You know, even Mandalorian. Yeah, that little goober, whatever he was, in the very first episode, and getting on the Razor Crest, and he's looking around, and all of a sudden, he's going through all the people that were in carbonite. You got Kathy Kennedy. That was awesome. And then George, and it was Kennedy and Lucas and those, and some other person. And he suddenly realizes, like, this is fucking serious. And he shoved into Mando's carbon freezing chamber. And there you go. That's dark. The Empire Strikes Back. I just got done watching a video about the deleted scenes and how intensely more horrifying the Han Solo torture scenes were. Okay. I guarantee you they had Leia watching. Okay, that was... Vader knew how to manipulate pain. There's physical pain and there's emotional pain. So when you like see that ham-fisted fanfic about Leia that Jesse Milestone wanted everybody to watch, and I watched it, and I was like, first off, the guy playing Solo, that wig is bad. Second of all, the girl playing Leia is fat and she can't act. Nobody can act. The only person who had any even remote acting chops is the guy that played Luke. And there's a scene in there where it shows Leia being tortured on Bespin. Leia being tortured on Death Star would have made sense. Leia being tortured on Bespin, no. Because it worked better for Vader, in my opinion, if she was forced to watch them do that shit to Han. Okay. That's fucking dark. In fact, when they got done filming and they were going through the footage, Lucas was like, we can't do this. They were worried about getting a R rating. Second of all, kids were going to be watching. Okay. And that was the thing that Lucas had always had in mind, is you can only take it so far. Mandalorian, I think, was as dark. I mean, surely as dark as The Empire Strikes Back. All right. And like the scene where Bill Burr is listening to his former commanding officer reminisce about a battle, and you can see the PTSD in him, and he blows the guy away. Then at the end, he takes Mando's rifle and blows up the entire place. And then he looks at Mando and says, everybody's got to sleep. Okay. That's dark. That's fucking dark. So Robert Rodriguez, I think he actually I think that was the episode he directed, if I'm not mistaken. Or maybe not. But Robert Rodriguez basically, all right, Great Maze, it was like, it's going to be dark. It wasn't fun. It's dark. Hey, House Treaties, there's absolutely no reason for Boba Fett to be fun. I mean, what are they? Then you have people going, I'm afraid. Robert Rodriguez is one of the best directors in Hollywood. Okay, I kind of trust him. I trust Jon Favreau, and I trust Dave Filoni. Yeah, he did. Yeah, okay. That was dark. Did we have fun? Were we dancing around popping champagne corks? No, and I don't expect to. Tamara Morrison basically said we're going to go back into the past in instances. So we might even see Han giving him the slip, or him taking Solo. They might actually have scenes from you know, you're right. You're right. Might actually have scenes from, that we didn't get to see from Empire, which are going to make me go, ah, Boba Maze, you know. So it's going to be very interesting, and where this is going to go is going to be really interesting. And personally, I can't wait. I can't. I can't wait for the first episode. I know it's going to be about an hour long, and it is going to be a fucking trip. It is going to be a fucking trip. It really, really is. I mean, I am like, let's do this. Let's do this thing now. You know, I mean, Bad Batch is dark. I mean, you've got these clones running away from. Yeah, well, yeah. Well, actually, the Bo-Katan thing I think gets transferred to Mando now because sadly poor Din Djarin is in possession of the dark saber. He doesn't want it, but now he's stuck with it until she beats his ass into the ground. And and he can't let her. I mean, that would be she wouldn't take this if she thought he was holding back, she would not fight him. She wouldn't. So I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of, yeah, but I don't know if it's gonna get that far. I mean, we saw him taking Jabba's palace, but the question is, and I've got, how does he build up his chain of command, and what kind of criminal organization is he running? Are they pirates? Are they bounty hunters? Is it a conglomeration of that, smuggling, slave running, whatever?